Good afternoon all. So today we are going to discuss a new topic. That is, we have already finished the unit Morphology of Bacteria. Now we are going to discuss about a new topic, that is growth and nutrition in bacteria. Today we are going to discuss nutritional requirements of bacteria. Every organism must find in its environment all the substance required for its energy generation and cellular biosynthesis. For the energy generation and for the cellular biosynthesis, every organism should find certain substances in their environment. The chemicals and the elements of this environment that are utilized for the bacterial growth and are referred to as nutrients or nutritional requirements. Many bacteria can also be grown in the laboratory in culture media, which are designed to provide all the essential nutrients in the solution of that culture media for the bacterial growth. The bacteria that are symbionts or obligate intracellular parasites, which means it depends upon other hosts. So, the obligate intracellular parasites of other cells usually are eukaryotes. They're difficult to grow outside of their natural host cell. So, it is difficult for this type of intracellular parasites to grow outside their natural host. Why? Because they completely depend upon that host. Whether the microbe is a mutualist or a parasite, the host cell must ultimately provide the nutritional requirements of its resident. Why they are completely depending upon the host? Because the host provides the complete nutrients which are required for the growth. Many bacteria that can be identified in the environment by inspection or by using genetic techniques, but attempts to isolate and grow them in artificial culture media has been unsuccessful. Such type of bacteria, this in part is the basis of what they estimate that we may know less than 1% of all the prokaryotes that exist. So we have already we have the information about a few prokaryotes. There are also many other prokaryotes which are to be yet discovered. They are not yet discovered. That has to be discovered, but only a few of them are we know. So coming to the nutrition. What do you mean by nutrition? The process by which the chemical substance which are called nutrients, which are required or acquired from the environment, the nutrients which are acquired from the environment and also which are used for the cellular activities. Such chemical substances are called nutrition. And again, these nutrients or chemical substance are divided into two main types. The nutrients which must be provided to an organism can be categorized to essential nutrients. The essential nutrients, so the two categories of essential nutrients are macronutrients as well as micronutrients or trace elements. Now coming to macronutrients, which means the name from itself, that are required in large quantities. They have important role in cell structure and metabolism. For example, for the macronutrients are proteins and carbohydrates. Next is about micronutrients or trace elements. They are required in very small amounts and are involved in enzyme function and also for maintaining the protein structure. Examples for the trace elements are manganese, zinc, nickel. Again, the nutrients are again divided into inorganic nutrients as well as organic nutrients. First of all, inorganic nutrients. These inorganic nutrients are the atoms or molecules that contain a combination of atoms other than the carbon and hydrogen metals and their salts. Other than the carbon and hydrogen metals and their salts, gases and water. So the inorganic nutrients, which are the atoms or molecules that contain combination of atoms other than the carbon. It can be that hydrogen metals and their salts, that is magnesium sulfate, ferric nitrate, sodium phosphate. I have some mistake. There is no need of and. Okay. Other than carbon, then a full stop. Then gases, which are oxygen and carbon dioxide and water. So these are the inorganic nutrients. Organic nutrients, which contain mainly carbon and hydrogen atoms and are usually the products of living things. So carbon and hydrogen is the main constant of organic nutrients and are usually the products of living things. Example, methane, then carbohydrates, lipids, proteins and nucleic acids. Next is about a chemical composition of a bacterial cytoplasm. Bacterial cytoplasm is 70% water, proteins are 9%, 6% of cell is composed of 6 elements which are 70% water, then proteins are present, the 9 is some spelling mistake. 6% of cell composed of 6 elements that are carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, phosphorus and sulfur. This is the chemical composition of the bacterial cytoplasm. Now coming to the major elements that we have discussed, such as macronutrients. At an elementary level, these nutritional requirements of the bacterium, such as E. coli, are revealed by the cell's elemental composition, which consists of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, iron, calcium and manganese. These are the major elements. And it also consists of the nutritional requirements of the E. coli, whose cell elemental composition consists of macronutrients and micronutrients, which are the trace elements such as zinc, copper, cobalt and molybdenum. These are the trace elements. And these elements are found in the form of water. This can be found in the form of water or inorganic elements or small molecules and macromolecules, which serve either a structure or functional role in the cell. Now coming to the major classifications of the macronutrients. First we can discuss each of them. First about element carbon. The percentage of dry weight for this carbon is 50. And the source of this organic compound, sources are, what are the sources of the carbon? Organic compounds or carbon dioxide. Now what is the function of this carbon major element? It is the main constituent of cellular material. Next important element is oxygen. The percentage of dry weight of oxygen is 20. Source is water, organic compounds, carbon dioxide and oxygen. Next is the function. It is the important constant of cell material and cell water. 0.2 is the electron. So 0.2, it is the electron acceptor in the aerobic respiration. Oxygen acts as an electron acceptor in the aerobic respiration. Oxygen acts as an electron acceptor. Next important component is nitrogen. The percentage of dry weight of the nitrogen is 14. And the important sources of the nitrogen are, that is nitrogen dioxide, ammonium, organic compounds such as nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen, simply nitrogen. Then functions. It is an important constant of the amino acids, nucleic acids, nucleotides and coenzymes. Next is about hydrogen. The percentage of the dry weight. Here there is a dry weight, okay. I didn't mention the dry. It is 8 and the important source of hydrogen is water, organic compound, hydrogen. The next is the function. It is the main constant of organic compounds and cell water. Next is about phosphorus. This is the percentage of dry weight. The percentage of dry weight for the phosphorus is 3. And the source of this phosphorus is inorganic phosphates. That is PO4. Then the function of the phosphorus, it is an important constant of nucleic acids, nucleotides, phospholipids, lipopolysaccharides and teichoic acids. Next about sulfur. The sulfur constitutes the dry weight, that is 1%, and the important source is sulfate, hydrogen sulfur, sulfur oxide, SO, then organic sulfur compounds. These are the important source. Function of the sulfur are, it is an important constant of the amino acid cysteine and methionine. Then it is an important constant of glutathione, several coenzymes, etc. Important constant of several coenzymes. Next is about potassium. Potassium constitutes the dry weight, that is 1. The source of the potassium is potassium salts. The main function, it is the main cellular inorganic cation and the cofactors for certain enzymes. Next is about magnesium. The percentage of the dry weight is for the magnesium is 0.5. Important sources are magnesium salts and the function of the magnesium is it acts as a inorganic cellular cations and also the cofactor for certain enzymatic reactions. Next is about calcium. The calcium constitutes the 0.5% of dry weight. Important source of the calcium is calcium salts. Function of the calcium are, they act as an inorganic cellular cation. They act as a cofactor for certain enzymes and also it is a component of endospores, calcium. Next is about iron. The percentage of the dry weight is 0.2. Sources of the iron are iron salts. Function, it is an important component of the respiratory chain such as cytochromes and certain non-heme iron proteins and a cofactor for some enzymatic reactions. So next we can discuss about trace elements. The above description ignore the occurrence of trace elements. Actually, these trace elements are the metal ions which are required by certain cells in very small amounts that it is difficult to detect them and it is not necessary to add them to the culture media as nutrients. So, these trace elements are required in such small amounts that they are present as contaminants of the water or other media components. As metal ions, the trace elements usually act as a cofactors for an essential enzymatic reactions in the cell. They act as a cofactors. One organism's trace elements may be another organism's required element and vice versa. But the usual cations that qualify as trace elements in bacterial nutrition are manganese, cobalt, zinc, copper and molybdenum.